Arnold. But I've also got another name. It's a Xhosa name. It's Kagiso. It means peace. And I live here in Khayelitsha with my family outside Cape Town.
This is the view that tourists will not see of Cape Town at the southern tip of Africa. It's the township where Arnold lives. But Arnold moves through many environments, and his favorite is up in the air. The higher, the better. Just 10 years ago, under the apartheid system, black people were still not allowed to share the country's riches with white people. South Africa was a divided country, and black people were forced to live far from the city where they worked. Today, much of that has changed, but many people still have to make the long journey from the township to city each day. Arnold is one of them.
My day starts early. My mother wakes me up at 6 o'clock, and after breakfast I set off for school, no matter what the weather. It's a long train ride from where I live to my school. There are always so many people, and sometimes it feels as if I'll get squashed. While the women sing their hymns as if they are in church, I just daydream about other things and other places. I like to dream about flying through the air. When my train reaches Cape Town station, it's almost time for school. I have to hurry and push my way through all the people. Arriving here from the township is like coming into another world. It's a world that lies at the foot of our famous Table Mountain. The ancestors of the people who live here came from all over. People from the East, from Europe, and from the rest of Africa. But some people were here from the beginning. We are a great big mixed up nation. Now I have to wait for a minibus taxi to get me to school, which is still quite far from the station. My mother doesn't want me to go to a township school. She feels I'll get a better education at a school that was once for white children only. Often, I'm the last one to get to school, but my teacher understands that I've come a long, long way. This school has musical instruments. In the township, the schools don't even have a library. I love going to the library to read books about the circus. I'll tell you why. Once, when I was very bored, my whole life changed. It was like a dream that suddenly became real. A boy at school took me to this amazing place. It was called the Zip Zap Circus. I saw children doing wonderful things, and I was allowed to join in. At Zip Zap, you can try out anything you want to, and that's how I started going there. I tried out a whole lot of different stuff, like juggling and riding unicycle. And then the next day I did a show, and then they said I must come and practice again. flying trapeze and I was scared. The first time I didn't go, but the second time I went. First, you must climb up a tall ladder. And that's where my hands started sweating and my knees started shaking. Then the older boys put a safety clip on my belt. You have to remember not to look down. You must keep on looking up. The very first time I swung away, it felt like I was falling off a cliff. Sometimes I think about what it was like for the guy who walked across the Niagara Falls in North America. It took him such a long time to cross to the other end. He had to sit down on the wire to rest. You have to concentrate. If you start thinking about other things, you never know what might happen.
Because we don't know where he's hurt. He has concussion.
This is a lesson in first aid, and I'm the patient.
Not over his eyes and his nose, he can't breathe. Now over his neck and sort of up over the ear.
Sometimes after school, I meet up with my friend Neville. If you look off our coast, you can see an island. That's Robben Island, where our great leader, Nelson Mandela, was held in prison for 20 years. This is also where two oceans meet at the bottom of Africa, the Indian and the Atlantic Oceans. When you look at the oceans from above, they look the same. But under the water, there's a big difference. These are fish that live in the warmer Indian Ocean. They have much more color than the fish from the colder Atlantic. But the cold water has many more fish that we eat. Neville and I are exploring the Two Oceans Aquarium in Cape Town. This is an underwater forest of kelp. It's like being in a dream. Flying through the air, I feel fine. But the idea of swimming with these guys is a nightmare. Neville is always fooling around. I think he will be a clown one day. My teacher told me that once a long time ago, the sea covered the area out there between the mountains. That's where my home is. And that's where Neville and I go back to every day, to the world that we know best. I live in a small house. I share a room with my brother. My mother has her own room. When I get home, my mother makes me something to eat. She always wants to know about my day at school. She likes to tease me with tongue twisters. The Xhosa language has many clicks, and it's funny when you try to say them quickly.
Like Abel. La Abela. Ekauken.
Again.
Lazik ekaka. Ukaka.
In Khayelitsha Township, some people are still very traditional, and some are very modern. people here are very friendly. In town, the buildings and houses are very big. In Kailicha, the houses are small. Some are shacks made out of bits and pieces. But some, like my house, are made out of bricks. We're always looking for things to do. Sometimes I play football, and sometimes I join Neville on the street. One day, I asked Neville if he wants to join the circus, and he said, "I'm scared of the trapeze and I might fall." And then I said, "You don't have to go on the trapeze." And so I took him to the circus, and then he went to the trapeze, and then he said, "I want to come down." And I said, "No, you can't come down because I haven't tried it yet." Then he swung out, and he was fine. It's always just the thought that's scary. When you see Neville and I together now, it's hard to believe that he did not want to join the circus. We spend a lot of time practicing on the street at home. You can't make a mistake when you're performing in a show. The first time I had to juggle, I counted the first four, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I dropped, and then I picked it up again, and I started counting, and then I juggled, and then I juggled. And then I didn't count when I was perfect at juggling. I was just juggling without counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm always trying to fly, which means I have to go higher and higher. But it also means that I have to put my trust in someone else. Brent makes me feel very safe. He's friendly, and he's like a father to all the kids. Sometimes he challenges me to do things that make me scared. The double somersault is the best thing I've ever done. Hey guys, listen to this. Again.